Join us on the set now, Siobhan Foster. She's our Chief Executive Officer of VMS with our usual VMS update. Good morning. Good to see you.
Paul.
You have a lot of information to share today with us. The first thing you want to start off, though, is that Clubhouse 1 renovation that everybody's really interested in.
Right. So I just wanted to provide a quick update. Things are going very well. The work is about 40% complete and proceeding on schedule for an early September reopening, which is very good news. And per the work schedule, the contractor just finished the exterior painting and is finishing up the window and door replacements and will begin on the interior component replacements, including flooring, lighting, and bathroom fixtures.
Right. Well done.
Let's hope it stays on
time and on budget,
exactly.
Right? That's all that matters, too.
The next thing I wanted to highlight is the budget. We have kicked off version 1 of the budget meetings. And so last Wednesday, we had our capital review with GRF. And this week, we move into more of the operating departments. United and Third are both reviewing maintenance and general services this week. Those meetings are on Thursday, May 23rd at 1:30 for United and 9:30 a.m. for the Third board in the boardroom. And the full schedule for the budget reviews are on the website under the news tab.
Okay. And that version 1 usually goes through June, and then once that kind of gets settled, then we go through the next version the following month?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so this is, again, just the first version, and there'll be multiple changes. And
right.
So.
Speaking of changes, you also are changing the employment requirements here in our community, where residents can now be more involved with VMS staff.
That's correct. So in recognition of the difficult labor market, the members of VMS, which are Third, United, and GRF, have amended the VMS bylaws to allow residents to become full-time employees if they're so inclined. So residents can now apply for all full-time open positions. And to find those positions, please visit the village website, scroll to the site's footer, and click careers.
Yeah. When we're starting to see more of that, I know there's a couple, I believe, that work down on the first floor that are working in resident services. And speaking of resident services, Chuck's always happy to tell you about his calls and what kind of answer, ratio he has.
Yes, so I wanted to share, the resident services April call statistics. This is the best month we've had since I've been here in 5 years. So based on 8,700 calls, resident services achieved a high time answer rate with 91% of the calls being answered. And the average hold time is only 53 seconds for the month of April, which is just remarkable.
That is, yeah. Well, a lot of us have called a lot of call centers, and you're on hold for way longer than 53 seconds, and then you usually have to leave a message anyway. So it's nice that we have people down there that are answering the calls quickly and getting these questions answered.
Right, and we also have a new feature where residents can leave their callback number, get called back rather than staying on hold and maintaining their place in line. So
super.
Very exciting. And then for recreation, we have the reservation lottery for room rentals is underway for 2025. And basically the details are you can get a lottery card in the recreation office, or you can email your reservation request to recreation@vmsinc.org. This covers clubhouses 1, 2, 5, and 7, which are open daily from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., and the Performing Arts Center, which has more limited hours based on the events that are taking place there. And these requests are due by Monday, June 17th.
That's your deadline. And the city also is working right now on their general plan, and of course we're 97% of the city, if not more, and that's important that we're a part of that process.
Right, so they're updating their general plan to comply with state housing law and also to better represent existing land uses, because it's been a while since they've looked at it. There are 2 proposed changes within the village. One is the change of Garden Center 1 from high-density residential to open space recreation, so it would match the other garden center here in the village. And then El Toro Water District owns parcels throughout the village, and these are proposed to be rezoned from residential community to community facilities, public, institutional. So no impact on the village.
Right.
But
just some paperwork and kind of cleaning up the language a little bit.
Correct.
Great.
And so if anyone's interested, the notice of availability of draft environmental impact report and the proposed general plan elements and zoning code amendments are available on the city's website. on the address shown on the screen, or you can get a copy in person at the city clerk's office. And then if you have any comments, they're due by June 23rd to the city, again, by the contact information on the screen.
Right, great. Now, landscaping is always a big topic around our community, and that's been like that for nearly 60 years now.
Yes.
And that's, you have an update regarding that.
I do. So we're taking an operational performance review, a technical look at landscaping services and how we provide services here in the village. And this is intended to identify and report areas of inefficiency and ineffectiveness within the department, to pinpoint cost savings opportunities, and to determine ways to enhance resident satisfaction. So this is just kicked off, and it'll be about a 6-month review. And then we've also implemented quality control software that our director has recently demonstrated at the landscape committee meetings. But we're excited about that because it dovetails into my next slide, which is we've hired a landscape services quality control service supervisor. So he reports directly to the department head and inspects the work performed by our ground crews within 1 week of the services being performed. He goes by and identifies deficiencies, takes a look at plant health and turf coverage, and he's also reporting other issues he may see for other departments. So just an extra set of eyes out there in the field.
Perfect. And actually a VMS employee as
Yes.
well? Okay, perfect.
And his name is Damian Gonzalez. He joined us last month. He's very qualified for this role. He has a Bachelor of Science in Plant Science from Cal Poly and an Associates of Art in Agricultural Science, and extensive pest and landscape management experience.
Right, and in that industry, going to Cal Poly, that's the school to go to.
Exactly.
We're looking forward to having Damien on board and helping us out through that process.
Yes, thank you. And then Memorial Day at the PAC is coming up. Join everyone for a day of remembrance of those who died serving our country with a ceremony and a concert. This will be Monday, May 27th at 1 p.m. at the Performing Arts Center. The ceremony will feature the All-American Boys Chorus, American Legion Post 257, and guest speakers.
And that's going to be, you can get tickets for that though. They're going to ask you to get tickets for that from 9 to 5 o'clock while quantities last. And the All-American Boys Choir has always been a great staple in our community, and we always look forward to seeing them. So it's a popular program, so be sure and get your tickets.
Yes. Tomorrow is Southern California Edison's Spring Power Briefing. If anyone is interested, this is a virtual session to review the utility's 2024 rate forecast and key issues related to the electric industry. And it will be 9:30 to 11 a.m. Registration is required to receive a copy of the presentation, and the registration link is shown on the screen.
Speaking of electricity, you have the next thing. It's called Village Tech Tools. I'm kind of interested to hear about this. This is new to me.
Okay, so we're always trying to encourage our residents to take advantage of our technology. Not only does it make things more efficient, it helps save costs. But the first thing I want to touch on is the Village website redesign. It's in process, and this includes design concepts, content rewrites, reconfiguration for ease of use, and search functionality. And so moving into tech tools, again, we encourage our residents to use the tools that are available to them. One is Easy Pay. Residents may automate their monthly payments using Easy Pay. And right now, approximately 25% of our community still pay via check. But if all monthly assessments are automated, we can save about $50,000 per year.
Right.
And again, this is convenient for members. Monthly payments are withdrawn on the same day each month, and the payment amount is automatically adjusted each year.
Yeah, it's a terrific service, and a lot of HOAs are utilizing it. And of course, a lot of, just paying your utilities is all done through that as well. Right. So people are slowly becoming more used to it.
They are.
Yeah.
And then residents can learn to use the Village Tech Tools. We have a partnership with the PC Club that's located here on the 3rd floor. They offer monthly training classes at no cost. And the next class is Wednesday, June 19th at 1 p.m. And then we encourage our residents to use Dwelling Live to have their guests enter through our gates. There's a user-friendly app that works 24 hours a day. And this can save up to $1.60 per call. If you go electronically, you avoid having to use our staff to handle the calls. We encourage you to use the tools. And then the resident portal offers great ways for our residents to contact resident services. They can submit service requests, process credit card payments, check account balances, etc. And there's a great tutorial at the link listed on the screen before you.
Yeah. I'd like to just talk a little bit about broadband, because that's kind of what I do. We have a lot of people that are still writing checks for just like $8.99 and things like that, because they only have one box or something like that. But we do want to encourage residents too. Not only can you use the resident portal for all of the fees that are associated with your HOA, but also broadband. So you could pay your movie, HBOs and your Cinemax and things of that nature. And again, as we mentioned, it's going to save the community money. The less we have to mail out and print paper and all the invoices checks and process checks, it's going to save the community a lot of money if everybody can just do it electronically. There are safeguards in place in not only VMS but in broadband to make sure that credit card information is safe and that your transaction is safe. So we encourage you to be sure and be a part of that process and then once again save the community some money.
Thank you, Paul. I also wanted to mention that what's up in the village is the Friday e-blast that goes out to more than 17,000 recipients and contains news and events information, amenities and activities, reminders and information, village television movies, a list of all upcoming meetings. You can subscribe to this by emailing info@lagunawoodsvillage.com if you're interested. Mm-hmm. And lastly, we want to encourage residents to receive their required mailings, their November and April mailings electronically, and again, help save the community money. If all 12,000 members opt out of paper mailings, our annual savings would be in excess of $90,000.
Right.
And they can do this in a number of ways, either using the resident portal or by emailing information@vmsinc.org. And lastly, just a reminder, if you haven't updated your email address and it's changed, just to stay in contact with the village, please do so by emailing resident services at vmsinc.org. That way we can stay in contact with you.
Exactly. That's a great opportunity for people to get that information to resident services and make sure they get everything that, all the correspondences that we're sending out to them as well. Now you have to get off to Third Mutual this morning. Yes. They're going to be live here in the boardroom at 9:30, so we're going to let you get going. They should have a very interesting meeting. If you're living in Third Laguna Hills Mutual and you were in one of the condos, they'll be having their live broadcast at 9:30 this morning if you're watching our morning program. Thanks so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you, Paul.
We'll be back with more of This Day right after this. Don't go anywhere.